Welcome to the second of our faith interviews. I'm here with Pamela. Pamela, hello.
Hello.
You've been coming to church here for how long?
I think about maybe just under 2 years.
Okay, so just before I arrived,
yes,
probably.
that's right. That's when I first came.
And is this the first church you've been to? Did you go to church when you were growing up?
I grew up with church, and I kind of I said to you, if you want me to come along, I'm happy to sit here. But I feel a bit of an intruder. I always feel a bit of an intruder, and
not at all.
But I grew up in the Catholic church,
okay.
And my children were christened in the Catholic church.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did all the Sunday school and everything with the kids when they were little. And then the kids just stopped wanting to go to church and had clubs and birthday parties and stuff that happens on Sundays and weekends. And I got out of the habit of going to church. So I did a good 10 so years of not going to church. And then I just loved I felt I had both my mum was ill. So my mum had cancer, and it was bad cancer. And I just felt I really want to wander down to church and light a candle for my mum. So I just wandered in here one Sunday. And the reason I wandered in here, not going back to the Catholic church that I went to before, was I just wanted something close to the house. And I've got very happy memories of this church because both my children went to different schools and they both had their carol services here.
Okay.
So over the years, I came for carol services when it was Father Felix was here. And I just always remember it being a very warm, inviting, nice place. And I just wanted to wander somewhere close to my house that was just nice. And I just fancied that. And I just wandered in one day and sat through the service on a Sunday and lit a candle for my mum and then kept coming. And then she just kept getting better. And I thought, I really need to keep coming now.
But what was it that made you... So, I know that it had really happy memories and stuff, but actually, a lot of going to church is just a habit. And actually, if you've been out of a habit for a really long period of time, I mean, when you didn't come to church, did you still believe?
Oh, completely. I'd say I'm spiritual. So because my parents live in Thailand, so I've got this, which is Buddhist around my wrist. So, and my mum is Catholic by which got brought up with it, but she'll go outside every blocks of flats. They have it's called the temple where you can go and do an offering. So we believe in God, and so she will be. Let's say the kids have got GCSE. She goes, I've just popped down and done an offering to Buddha. So I think we believe in and whether you have to go to church or not go to church. I just think we got into that habit of believing in God and saying thank you and but not the habit of going into church. And I suppose I just felt I needed to come into church when she was sick, and I wanted to light a candle was important for me to do that. And then the reason that I kept coming back was they were so lovely. The people in this congregation are very, very kind and nice and welcoming. And there wasn't a priest at the time, so there was different people coming every week. And I actually enjoyed that as well. But it was very friendly. It was the people who are in the church were always so kind and so nice. And I would just sit quietly at the back and just be very grateful for everything. And that's why I like coming here, because it is it's gratitude for me. I come in here and I feel quite emotional actually when I think about it. I feel very grateful, and it does make me emotional.
And what does being a Christian on a day-to-day basis? So in your life, you just have a normal job?
Yes.
Yeah. You run some restaurants in Brighton.
Yeah.
Probably quite stressful at times, running your own business. Whatever you do has lots of different challenges. Raising children. So your children are big teenagers, 20s?
Well, I've got one going off to uni, so she's just turned 21, so she had a few gap years. And then
one gap year, so more than one gap year.
So, and then Freddie's 18. So yeah, I've done the teenage years now, I suppose.
And really challenging. We were just talking before we started about the kind of challenges of social media and all of the stuff that so that your kids' generation have kind of had it worse in a way, in that they've kind of grown up. I grew up before social media kind of existed. My children, hopefully, social media won't be so normal for them.
I think it's going to swing the other way. I think our kids had it peak social media.
Absolutely. And all the kind of, and so parenting teenagers, I haven't got there yet. Imagine it's hard as parenting young children, just in a different you haven't got to worry about their bum anymore, but you've got to worry about all sorts of stuff, running a business, your mum being ill, in all of those times in your life that have been tricky. How has being a Christian helped you in all of that?
What I love about the whole Christianity and coming here is I feel in here it's a sanctuary. It's calm. It's got a lovely feeling as you come in here, and I feel the outside world. If we're on our phones all the time, and it's social media or even just news, and it's all full of hate. It's full of like big views, very strong views, either whichever way, and it's like there's no in between. And I do think in here there is a calmness and a kindness and a niceness, and I think it's good to get out of all these polarized views, and it is all the teachings and everything. It's all about being kind, and that's why I took the kids when they were little, and I really did kind of push the Sunday school with them, because all the teachings are about kindness and tolerance, and I feel that with all the polarized views on social media and news, we've lost that. And I think that's sad. I do think that's sad. And I kind of want to go back to a kinder time or a quieter time. And I think that's why maybe I like it here. It does bring it, that takes me away from that.
Yeah, it takes you out for an hour or so on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of technology going on. We've got the PowerPoint, but really there's not a lot of technology. This is, the building looks like it did when it was built, pretty much. That we talk about things and we think about things that are completely timeless. Being a human has just been the same, whatever generation you've lived in. And there is definitely something I think a lot of people feel about sort of coming in here and feeling like they're getting away from all of that stuff that you kind of talk about, the pressures and the polarization and the way that we live and the way that the press talks about. It's always, they say no news is good news, don't they? And a lot of it is about people not being particularly kind to each other. So I think that's really, really important.
And that's what this place does. And then your sermon on Sunday, which I loved, and I did tell you how much I loved it afterwards, and the words that you said about how important these buildings are. And I think people forget that, because you can say, I've got my faith, but I don't go into church. But I do say my little prayers, or I believe in God, and I don't need to go to church. And why are these buildings so important? And that's what you said on Sunday. And the words that resonated with me is like, imagine all the prayers that have gone into these bricks, and that is really special.
It soaks it up, and you can feel it when you come in.
It does, and I think that's what people miss by not coming into church. And you explain that really, and that newspaper article of a different time, I just thought was so nicely done. How you did
it's extraordinary writing. For my sermon, I started with a bit of a newspaper article from 1913, and someone said to me, "Could you imagine if journalism was like that?" Just the prose was just beautiful. It was really lovely. But so is that something you think? So the whole time before you were that period of your life where you weren't really coming to church, and as you said, you've never lost your faith, but it wasn't something you did with other people. What do you think? So the building is something that feeds our faith, but how for you has being around other Christians on a weekly basis, how has that helped your faith to change and to grow?
I don't know whether it's like help my faith. I think it's just more, they're just people who I like to spend time with. I come in and also in church you are with people from different generations, and you've got lovely Lynn who turned 100 not very long ago. That's very special. And it's really special coming in and talking to her daughter and hearing the stories of her life and what she did and all what happened during the war, and she was working at Lancing College. And I find it all, when do I normally get to mix with, I suppose that's what I like about the restaurant business. Over the years, I can chat to people when they come in, and I do love hearing people's stories. And I think you get the same thing here. And I do I just kind of sit at the back, so I'm at the back spot, and I watch everyone. And you just see Lynn, who stands up, and she's just still here, still, and I just, worshipping and being kind, and I find her very inspirational actually. So it's not just coming into church; it's the people who I'm surrounded with, and no one's here to get their kids into the catchment school or to do this, to do that. It's just only people that walk in this building on a Sunday are purely here because of their faith, and I think that's really special. And I don't think there's very many special places like that.
There aren't many places where you join a swimming club and
Yeah.
everyone likes swimming. That's kind of why you're there. But swimming may not influence the way that you live your whole life.
Yes.
Whereas I suppose in church you've got people who are coming here because they're Christian, but being a Christian is influencing everything they do. And it feels like another level of being together, I suppose.
And they're just very kind people, and I like to surround myself, I suppose. I chat to them and I was like, oh, I want to be like you. And it's like,
Don't say that.
And it does, it just makes you want to. It just makes you hopefully live a better life.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it as well. It makes you want to do better or to, I suppose to want to do better or to be kinder. And it probably helps with my work, because we deal with many people of all different backgrounds and everything like that. And it's always about, you've got to put yourself in other people's shoes and think about things, not just, so never stay in your lane. It's always trying to be a bit different.
And has it helped you to do that, do you think?
I think so. I think for me, what's really helped me with is it's just very calming. It's very calming, and I think I am running a million miles an hour, and I'm problem solving, and there's always a problem, and there's always one drama to another, and it's almost like, for me, it's like meditation, where I just come here and I just sit there and I can see everything, and I just find it so calming and relaxing, and I find it very selfishly. I find it my time. It's like some people might go and do yoga. I find it very just relaxing, and just sitting there and just being very grateful for the kids are doing well and everyone's healthy and all these little things in life that people just don't really think about. I just sit there and just being very, very grateful for all the little things, really, and I just very much enjoy it. And it's and I say, Ben picks me up from church sometimes, or he did when he was well. He's going to get back into that, and he goes, how was it? What was the sermon about? What was it? And I always tell him what it was about. And I do say to him, I said, I think it's the best part of my week. I come out on high, and I come out and I walk home with him, and we just chat. And I just said, it's my weekly highlight. That's how I feel when I come out. It does make me feel good. So I keep coming back because it makes me feel good. So it's quite selfish, isn't it? But that's how I do it.
But sometimes we are selfish in order to. Sometimes we have to be a little bit selfish in order to grow in other ways, and there's that whole thing. I know that at my daughter's school, they say, make sure we're doing things that fill up our bucket, and if we fill up our bucket, then we can fill up others' buckets. And it's that kind of, actually sometimes you have to fill your own cup in order to give to other people. And I think if it does that, then that's a really valid reason to come. So on Sunday, when we were talking about this building and the newspaper article that I started with, it was quite funny because it said, it was when it was just this little tin temporary church. It was like, oh, you'd easily miss the building. Whereas now you wouldn't miss this building. Top of the hill, great big tower, you can see it. It's really funny, the places in Brighton where you can see it. If someone was walking past this building today and they were waiting at the bus stop or driving past and they had been thinking about faith had been something niggling to them, what would you say to them about coming in and what it's like here?
I would say we're not going to walk into anywhere more welcoming. I think it's because I was that person. So if you're that person walking past or at the bus stop and you're thinking about it, pop in. And it is because I was that person who was walking past or in the area, and I just felt drawn to come in one Sunday. And I would just come in and just sit down and just enjoy the wonderful space that's here. It's just a very special, lovely space that you can take an hour out of the crazy life that we all live and all the noise of the news and the media and everything, and just sit and just be at peace. It's a very calming, peaceful, kind space to wander into. So it'd be a nice place to wander into. I can recommend it.
Brilliant. Pamela, thank you so much. That was really, really great. We're looking forward to seeing what the next part of your faith story is going to look like. Who knows? Thank you.
Oh, thank you.